Hello, my name is Lucas. This is a bit of late. It is day 21 of Vlogmas. It is almost 2 a.m. I am on a 9-day holiday now, thankfully, for Christmas. And then I've got 2 days of work, and then I've got a short holiday for the new year as well, which is exciting. Anyway, I read Amnesty by Octavia Butler, which is this incredible short story about this woman named Noah that works as a translator for this alien species called the communities that has invaded and taken over Earth and lives in the desert regions of the world. Mojave Desert, Kalahari Desert, Gobi Desert, Sahara Desert. They've taken all these places and they have a very almost indescribable appearance that even Noah can't describe, even though she's seen them. And this book, or this story, is very much about colonialism. We've got all these characters coming in to talk to Noah for a sort of interview to get jobs. And some of them are quite happy and sort of worship, in a way, the alien, the communities. And there's other characters who, in different ways, show their absolute rage and frustration. They want to rage against the machine in a way, and rightfully so, is speaking, of course, about European colonialism and slavery in its own way, and just how damaging that was, of course. Anyway, Noah was sort of taken by the communities for quite a long time, when she was very young. And eventually, sort of like, they did all kinds of experiments on her, just to observe her, or with her, experiments with her, just to observe her. These aliens have no spoken language because they've never developed hearing, in a way. They have other ways to communicate, and the way the translation job works is to signal everything. And yeah, after Noah is sort of released, Americans, the American government, tortures her even worse and believe her to be a traitor because she had been gone for so long. And I mean, this kind of stuff comes out slow. I mean, it's only almost 40 pages. It's quite short, or it might even be less, actually. But it comes out in such a way that it's like she's pulling out all the emotions of these characters who are looking for a job to make money because they're desperate, and they have to turn to the communities, because there is basically no other choice, no sort of guaranteed choice, no safer choice, I guess, to make decent income. And there's this incredible part early on, where one of the characters says something along the lines of, where is it? I'm gonna find it, wait. Okay, so Noah says, "Are you angry with me, Mr. Adio, or are you angry in my behalf?" Mr. Adio replies, "I'm angry because I have to be here," he said. He stood up and paced around the table. all the way around twice before he could sit down again. I'm angry that these things, these weeds, can invade us, wreck our economies, send the whole world into a depression just by showing up. They do whatever they want to us, and instead of killing them, all I can do is ask them for a job. And he needed the job badly. I mean, it's just really heartbreaking in its own way. That's exactly right. The economies, once these aliens showed up, were devastated. Anyway, the way it works, the way she slowly doles out all this information about herself, and there is plenty more, plenty more that has happened to Noah. Also, a very interesting choice. Sort of makes me think, of course, of Noah's Ark, and she's sort of a gateway to the communities and these jobs who use people as drugs in a way, because they, and I forget the verb, but they like envelop around you and get kind of high on it, or they liken it to people petting a cat and how it calms them, how it calms a person. But the way, as I'm trying to say, she's getting all the emotions out. First anger, and then pity, and then sort of acceptance to keep them calm, to sort of test them, because the final test for this interview is to be enveloped. And some of the characters still are angry and full of rage and hate that this is the way it has to be, but they're desperate. They want a job. Finally, Noah reveals that, in fact, when they first came, there's one more thing that they need to know. When they first came, because the whole time they've been trying to get her to say, yeah, I'm angry at him, or I want them to apologize, or I forgive them, or do you forgive them? Why do you forgive them? These kind of things, just berating her, because they, in a way, sort of see her as a traitor, because she's that gateway drug, I suppose, because she's a human, and humans are used as drugs. Very, in its own way, I suppose, the using of people is addictive, or was addictive for, almost like it was an addiction for colonists, that they couldn't break, and didn't break. And what is very horrifying at the end, just to sort of end the conversation, there's nowhere else to go. There's no more getting upset. There's no more being, I hope that they'll take us up to heaven and, when they leave or whatever. When they first showed up, the governments of the world fired nukes at them, a whole bunch, because they didn't understand what was going on. Half of them were returned, still active, not detonated. For example, in America, they were found all over Washington, D.C. One was even in the White House. In China, they were all over the place. In Australia, there were a few found. And, it's just on and on and on. And that is a, forgive the pun, bombshell that just sort of, there's a character that just wants to fight and feels like they have to fight. There must be some way. And Noah drops that bomb, and the conversation ends. So it's horrifying. I mean, it's scary. What do you do to a power like that? Just kind of hope it goes away, I guess, after generations. because the power in that case is insurmountable. And yeah, I mean, this is a great story. I love it. Maybe I will definitely return to it one day to discuss it with other people, hopefully. Maybe I will get something more out of it. It's an excellent story. I highly recommend it. Because it was, yeah, this is what I want out of art. You know, it just like moved me in such a way. Like, I was all over the place emotionally. And with that final moment of new knowledge, I was just shaken. So, thank you.